Hello, hello. We are back again at the wonderful Achieve Experts Highlight Show. Yes. This is me, Barbara J. Beckley, and I am here to really spotlight, and this wonderful lady right now, she's going to all about spotlight. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. But we're here to make sure that the leaders and members in Achieve are getting their love. They're just love. And making sure that you understand who they are, not just all in a crowd, because it's nice to go to a crowd and talk to each other, but this is more intimate because you really get to see what this wonderful person does. And me speaking about a wonderful person, this is a queen. This is a queen. She's a celebrity. She's an author, bestseller. She is a dynamic, amazing, incredible coach. She's loving on women every single day in business because she wants to make sure that their passion, what they have in them, is being spotlighted to the world by storytelling. And I love that she is already touching on something that I love, and it's about storytelling because it's so important. And she knows that. She found what she calls the special sauce. Yes, it is. It's the special sauce within your life. So one amazing queen, Monica Miller. How you doing, lady?
I am doing good tonight. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes. Yeah, when I heard that, I can get you on the show, I'm like, okay, come on, I gotta get her before she gets booked.
Yes.
Because she can get booked quickly.
I can.
Yes, she can. And so this is an honor and a privilege. I want to say that before we even get into having a conversation with you, lady, because one thing that I always tell people is I love meeting like-minded people that really are trying to help others just make their way, to push the needle in what they're trying to do. And they might be a little shy, or maybe not, the confidence not there, or maybe they do have the confidence, but they just don't really know how to get out there, like they should, like their real true selves. And I'm loving what you do, especially for businesswomen, business entrepreneurs that are really needing to understand not just a storytelling base, but the reasons why. There's a whole, like you said, teaching, coaching, mentoring of that. And you do that with your clients, and you have so many workshops. I mean, and the list goes on, lady. So what I want, if we were naming this show, which we are naming this show, I love what she put. From unnoticed to fully booked, how to stand out online to step onto stages. Now she put 2025. I dropped the 2025 because this queen will do it year by year to help you year by year. So it doesn't just stop this year, okay? She's a continuous coach that helps everybody. So I had to drop the 2025 because I wanted to know that you are there like forever and ever and a day for people. But yes, I always like to find out, pulling the curtain of how you became this amazing person that really, like I said, you just have that heart of gold when it comes to the women in the business and understanding how they really need to be spotlighted.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So my big why really came from when I was a little girl. I had a speech impediment, and I couldn't pronounce a lot of words. I talked really fast. And I remember people asking me, can you repeat yourself? Or can you talk a little slower? Their favorite one was turning to my sister and asking her, hey, what did she say? And for those of us who are parents, we know how frustrated our children can get when they're not being understood. I mean, I had that today with my 3-year-old son. I mean, I just couldn't understand him. And anyways, but so we know the frustration behind it. Mm-hmm. And it really wasn't until I learned how to write that opened up the gates for me on learning how to communicate without having people ask me, can you repeat that? Or can you say that again? And I did not need my sister. Yay. So I didn't need my sister this time to help me communicate my story, to share who I am. And it was an art form. It was one way for me to express myself. Mm. And somebody pointed out to me years later, they're like, Monica, did you think that was a catapult of you
I like that.
doing what you're doing now. And
Yeah.
it was 100% because I realized I'm helping women entrepreneurs do what I struggled to, which was taking what was in heel and putting it out into the world. And that's what I do now. And that's kind of like a cool, like, full circle.
Yes.
When
Yes.
she's thinking about it.
Yeah. And I always tell people we always bounce into something of passion that we do from something that we dealt with. That's why the storytelling is so important. Like you said, it's something that happened in your life that pushed you, or maybe you didn't even want to go. And it was like, wow, this had happened. I just found out this is my passion. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh, okay. So there's certain ways how we get there on our journey. But when we get there and when we really get into something that's really our passion, our gift in us, we just, it's just like, and that's what you've done. I mean, and I thank you for telling your story about that. So many people need to hear that, because myself, I didn't have a speech impediment, but I had low self-esteem, people telling me that I would never amount to nothing. I'm stupid. I shouldn't even be speaking, all that kind of stuff going on, Monica. And it just shrunk me. I mean, I was like, I felt like, the turtle when they put their head, I was just like this. In fact, I felt myself walking like that sometime because I just felt so small, and did that for years. I mean, over 20 years. And I just, when people would say, well, Barbara, are you going to speak? I said, no, because people said I can't speak. So why should I, I mean, I got to the point, I'm like, well, they told me this, so I'm just going to just stay to the side. And once you bust out of that and you really know who you are, just like you found that your special sauce too, there's no stopping. It's no stopping you. It's not. No. Because now you have to help other people. It's like, okay, I know somewhere you don't want anybody else feeling that way that you felt. Like when people said that, they looked at your sister and said, okay, what is she saying? I know you're like, no, we're not going to do this. I'm going to make sure that.
Yeah. And I think it really comes from, like, I want women, and, if it's in my future, probably men too, to feel heard, seen, recognized, and then knowing that they can be paid for their voice, paid for their heart, paid for their story, just being paid to be them. Because, for so long, I didn't feel like I could be seen or heard. And so now it's just like, that's really where my passion is. And I feel that everybody has a story, and not sharing your story is like it's straight disobedience from God, in my opinion. And that's where I'm really passionate about, is helping women and men feel heard, seen, recognized, and step into that obedience and leadership that God's calling you to do, so that way you can impact the world and make disciples just like He called us. So that's a lot of my why. And it all started when I had that speech impediment as a little girl.
Yeah. Because, you can stand in the footsteps of people that might be struggling. Like I always tell people, we're always our client 10, 20 years ago. So I'm always looking for people that I used to be probably a long time ago, where now I went through that bridge, and I'm like, now I want to bring everybody else over the bridge because I finally got through the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've been finding is a lot of my clients, even though and of course I'm a couple steps ahead of them, sometimes I'm like going through the same thing as they are, but at a different level. Like my client was talking this past week about, surrendering, and God's been teaching me a lot about surrendering, like my business, letting go, just being in full trust. And then I was sharing that with her, because she's at one point of surrender. I'm at a different point, but I was just like, look, we're all going through it. Like that surrender, like letting go and just being at peace and finding our peace and walking through the storms, and it was just a really cool experience. And to do this with my client in real time, and to watch her step into her leadership. Because I know that this is going to be more to her story that she's going to share on stage, on her podcast, on her YouTube channel eventually. Right now she may not be able to share it, but I know she will. And I get to lead myself and see myself, lead and grow, and knowing that I can share this right here, right now, and on future stages. Because our stories are ever evolving and ever growing.
Ever. And I just want to go back a little bit when you said you and your client, how you're at different levels, but you're still in that same zone, like rendering and trusting and stuff. And I was getting really giddy like a little kid when you were saying that, because I've been dealing with that just the last 2 weeks myself. God's been really showing me, yes, yeah, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. We'll put it out there. Just let people know that's who is my anchor. But I've been having to remember to do that, so you can get poured into more and understanding how you need to help not just yourself, but helping so many others. Like you said, we're the ambassadors. So I'm just loving how you and your client was in that, like you said, she was right here, but still together you were dealing with the same thing.
Yeah. And it was just, like I said, it was just a beautiful moment. And one of the things I was sharing with this same story with another podcaster I was on yesterday. And one of the things she pointed out was she was just like, watching someone evolution is such a privilege, because whether she's watching me in my evolution or I'm watching her in her evolution, because we get to see the transformation. We get to say, like, I remember when, like for this one client, I remember when she told me I don't have a story. And within 4 months, she had a podcast, she had a YouTube channel, she was speaking on stages, she was being asked to speak and being on podcasts. I mean, she was on fire. She's written a book. She's about to publish the journal. I mean, so this is why, and I knew that this kind of like hard stop was coming for her, because I saw it, but I wanted to see how it was going to come up. And now it's just like, now I see her, like, she had all this excitement, she's going for it, and now she's kind of like hitting her upper ceiling, or her upper limit, right? And so it's just like, okay, now is, because I hit mine, like maybe a couple weeks ago. So I'm learning to expand and grow and surrender, and she's doing that too. So it just reminded me, like, I think this is something I really want to hone in on to anyone who's listening. Just because your client is watching your evolution, don't think that that's a bad thing. I think for me, it's just a great witness for you and your client, because that's going to grow, like that's going to create so much loyalty and trust and connection to know that, yeah, she might be at a different level, but my coach is working through it too. She's leading herself. Like, she's not letting me go. She's not letting herself go. She's leading herself. And that's a great testament, even for yourself.
Yes.
Is you get to see yourself lead. And like I said earlier, this is such great content when you're up on stage or when you're sharing online. I mean, that's something that I do. I help people with their stories to be on stages, or help you share your stories online too. And I think just being vulnerable and reminding people, like, there's so much beauty in witnessing, because we desire, I think we were made to be witnessed. And a lot of us think we have to have it all together to make it look like we're successful. But it's a duality. It's like we can have success with being witnessed at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. I'm getting
good, right? That was
that was like a mic drop, like 2 mic drops.
That's right.
I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, okay, where's my pen and paper? I need to be writing this down. You're teaching me, Queen. You are teaching us. Oh my God. You know what? I wanted to say, just to go back about the storytelling, because this is really good that these 2 tips you have. And one of them, which really just got to me, because you're so true about the storytelling in our lives and understanding each other's stories and being authentic. You mentioned that storytelling is the most unutilized piece of content that entrepreneurs use. When I read that, I was like, ooh, that was good. That was something good to bring up. I want you to just dig a little bit deeper in that, because that was good.
Yeah. One of the things I found is, especially with those who I followed for years, and I know what they do, I know what their expertise are, but do I really know them? And I had to sit back and like look at some people that I follow, and I'm like, do I really know them? And I'm like, if they were just to share some of their personal stories, even if it happened 6 months ago or a year ago, just to let their audience know, like, hey, I get it because I was there. I think that's so powerful. So I do feel that the art of storytelling is the most unutilized piece of content because it requires us to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to shed a mask that we might have accidentally put on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're scared to let it drop a little bit because we're what if they don't see us as such, or what if they don't see us, whatever, right? I mean, and I can't tell you how many times, like, I know I have blessed others when I've shared my story. And yes, my story has helped me sign on clients, has helped me get on stages, has helped me do, be on summits and be paid, so there's so many things that my story has opened up. And I'm going to give you an example. I shared about the surrender piece in a story on Instagram, I think, today. And somebody messaged me and they were like, thanks for sharing this because, this is something I'm going through too. And it's just a great reminder. And, this is somebody, I don't even know if we're friends or not. I don't know. I think it came from Instagram. So you don't know who you're going to reach. And now it's just like, this could be a new relationship. This could be a potential new client. This could be maybe a new collaborator. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just like your story opens up doors that you would never see unless you start sharing it.
There you go. And, I love it too, Queen, where you can share your story and you become, that person when you become vulnerable and stuff, you can give hope to so many people because you don't know how many people might be dealing with or have dealt with or in the midst of dealing with something that you said not only that you went through, but you strived and overcame it some kind of way. And people listen to that, they be like, oh my God, Monica went through that. I know if she went through it and she's doing what she's doing now, I know I can do that. See, it just gives that hope and that that launch pad, like you said, moves you to that next level. When people hear you talk about what you went through and in dealing with it. And I'm not saying be, a victim, how some people are victim. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about telling your story, but in understanding how it strengthened you, how it guided you, how you moved to the next level, how you helped others with it. And it really, just like you said, like you were just saying, it really helps that other individual move forward in their lives. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there is a balance on like sharing, like when to share and then when not to share. And because I do think that there is a balance there. And I do teach my clients where to find that balance and how to really tune into yourself to ask yourself, am I ready? Am I coming from a place of empowerment? Like, what do I really want to share? What's my intentions? So we can get clear on how to share a story in a not only appropriate way, but in a way that is going to not only empower us, but empower our potential new clients. Because we still can, like I said earlier, there's a duality. We can still be authentic and be connected with our story. Yeah. I know for me, like I've worked with my coach for the last 3 years, and it's because she'll share her story with us. And, with me too. And I get to watch her evolution and I get to watch her move through different times of her life. And she get to share some of her moments with me in a real vulnerable way. And I know for me, that's created so much more connection than anything else. So that's why I just love storytelling. Storytelling is so engaging anyways. And like you said, it's so inspirational and our stories can lead to new clients and opportunities.
Okay, see, you're good. Because that's what I was about to lean into with you, Queen, is okay, now that you talked about how, they're so important, how do you take that? And I know this is basically, you have to, pay to you to coach and everything, but just give us a little inkling, just maybe one little tip, just pull out of how you do that, where you take that to, start getting your clients in.
Yeah. So I teach the story selling formula. This is not like you could totally look it up online. It's not something that is secret or anything, but it's really composes of like 3 different things to do when you're telling a story. So we have like the setup, which is your story. Like you get to start sharing your story. And then you have the confrontation. And this is the part of the story where you flip the script and basically say, hey, haven't you been doing this? Or have you been, sharing your story and no one has been buying from you? Or you've been sharing your story, but you're not being invited to a podcast. You start flipping it onto them, right? Like, because you shared your story. Now it's like, hey, is this you? And you could talk a little bit about that. And then it goes into the third part, which is resolution. And in the resolution, when you make the offer of, hey, if you want to get on more stages and share your story while leading people to your offers, then let's have a free 30-minute conversation about how to do this for you and your business and what would that look like. Or it could be, hey, come, step into my program, be the spotlight, or whatever it is, and so it feels like, one, you build a connection, and it doesn't feel like you're selling because you're inviting people to come into your world, and you're building credibility because you're showcasing your expertise during that flip of the, there's that setup, that confrontation. That's when you're really sharing your expertise. So that's like the story selling framework or formula right there in a nutshell. I do have a workshop that I teach about it. And of course, I talk about this in all my programs so that my clients have a great way on how to share their story and have like I said, that formula, that framework to put in every single time they want to share anything online or even offline.
Queen, I appreciate you so much for sharing your golden nuggets, your special sauce. That was amazing. I love the 3-part. It's really, when you think about it, it's like 1, 2, 3. You do those 3 things and you're golden. You're starting somewhere. You're starting somewhere. Now, like Queen said, I want to let you know, you have to go to her workshops. You have to get into her world because she can just give you so many other. See, that was just like a small smidgen of a golden nugget.
Yes, very short.
She said very short. She says, okay, I'll give you some juice really short, but if you want more. And I'm so glad that you, first of all, walked us through that, because a lot of times, and I was thinking about when you were saying that, Queen, I was trying to figure out the speaker. I know he's very famous, where he says, if you're going to tell a story, make a point, tell the story. And I can't get him in my mind. It's just bad how just his name, but I always think about that when I'm telling stories, if I'm on stages, or if I'm even on a podcast, or I'm just talking on social media. I always ask myself, this is just me, Queen. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be on, I'm saying something. What's the reason? How is it going to help somebody? That's what I would ask myself, my own question. It's not going to really help somebody. I'm just sitting there just being like, whatever. Then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I don't want to waste nobody's time. I want to help somebody, even if it's a little golden nugget saying, okay, smile today, because it brings in your endorphins or whatever. That's a short story. 1 minute, you're done. But at least you help somewhere, right?
Yeah. And I know, I'm sure you serve people just like this, Barbara. I serve a lot of people who just want to support and help and nurture others and get them to where they want to be, whatever that is. And as heart-centered entrepreneurs, we, storytelling is such a unique way to invite people in, because we're sharing our heart, but yet we're giving back to them with a lesson while inviting them to work with us in some capacity. And, it could be a free event. It could be a paid event. It could be anything you want it to be. Like the sky's the limit on however you want to invite people to come in and work with you.
Ooh, I love it. I like the sky's the limit. I'm like, let's go. So, Miss Monica, see, this is, I guess I could talk. I was telling you before, I said I could just talk to you because I just love what you talk about. But the time here, so
it goes by so fast.
That's okay. We're gonna have volume 2 coming. You're gonna come back.
Okay.
Remember, I said I'm gonna fix that problem. But before you leave us, Queen, you the Queen, I want to give you just 30 seconds to give any lasting thoughts for the audience when it comes to what you do for people, that passion, being on stages, understand how storytelling is so important in that. And then I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. So if you have been seeing, I want to share my story, but I don't know how to take all the things out here and bring it into a framework or flow, I want to encourage you to start thinking about what I call your core stories. And your core stories are like those mom to mentor stories that changed everything. You heard a core story today, and that core story was my speech impediment story. This is a story I tell on all the stages. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I talk about it I talk about it everywhere. I talk about it on my socials. I talk about it whenever I'm speaking, anywhere, because it's my why. Is why I started where and how I got to where I want to be today. And so this is something I really just want to pass on to you. I want you to know that your core story doesn't have to be as big as mine. It can be these small moments too. We discount the small moments, but that's where the growth happens. That's where the magic happens. So I want you to, this is your homework. Your homework is to think about some of these core stories that changed the game for you, and how can you use that into your next post, into your next Facebook Live, into your next podcast guest, or into your next speech to connect big ideas with your audience that all points back to your awful.
Woo! Okay, if no one was taking notes, I don't know what's wrong with you. I hope you had the pen and paper, because I did.
Barbara was ready.
I had my notes. I don't take this for granted at all. But Queen, thank you so much. Thank you for really making sure of understanding, so we all understand our passion, and then how our stories move the needle, and not our own lives, but being vulnerable for others so they can have hope, and they know that they can do what they need to do in their lives, whatever gift that they have, right? And understand that just because maybe you weren't the perfect person, like I know I'm not perfect. And look at Queen talked about how she had some dealings when she was growing up. Look at where we're at now. That didn't stop us. That did not stop us. And I don't want that to stop any of you that's listening to out there, because Queen just told us not to let that stop us. Story.
Exactly.
So with that, lady, please tell them how they can contact you. I want to make sure they give you some love and reach out.
Yeah, well, you can find me on Facebook, Monica Lynn. We'll put that in the show notes below. Be my friend. I love adding new friends. Talk to me. Let's get on a coffee chat and just to get to know one another. I love that. You can also join my email list if you want, some free social media templates. Let me know. We'll put that in the show notes as well. So that way you can get weekly inspirational, tips about speaking. You'll be the first ones to know about any upcoming workshops to help you really, structure your speeches and how to get booked on stages. As well as how to create that message online. And then I would love for you to reach out to me. And if you are like, I want to take my storytelling to a whole new level, I want to be booked on stages, I'm doing the things and I don't know, it's just not working, and I want to be where you're at, Monica, then let's have a 30-minute conversation. You can go to monicaweiss.com/calendar. Yes, that would be in the show notes. And schedule a free 30-minute time with me. We'll talk about where you want to go with your story, what's stopping you, and how we can make your story get in front of the right audience, so that way you can create the impact you desire to make with your business, your life, and of course, the income goals you want to make. And I'll be so happy to serve you in whatever way I can.
She's a sweetheart. I'm telling you, I loved her. And you know what? I'm going to let you all know, I am a witness. She does wonderful coffee appointments with you. You will love her. You will get to know Monica more, and you would want to work with her. So yeah, I'm a witness, and she didn't pay me for this. I'm saying this because she has a heart of gold. With that said, Monica, thank you again for coming on Achieve Experts Highlight Show. This is where we highlight the leaders and members of Achieve community, inside the community and out. So just to let you know that we will be coming next week with another wonderful guest from the community. But, Monica's, I already told you, she's going to be back.
Yay!
With that said, you take care and always shine your light, because I always tell people you are a lighthouse to the world. Take care. Thank you.
Introducing the Diamond Factor Network, where we turn your business into a beacon of success. Imagine having your TV streaming show reaching audiences far and wide. It's possible with the Diamond Factor Network. Unlock the power of your brand with our state-of-the-art TV streaming platform. Your show, your way. Feature highlights, customized shows, global reach, and professional support. Coaching by Barbara J. Beckley, Purpose Visibility and Social Media Strategist. Ready to elevate your brand? Join the Diamond Factor Network today and let your brilliance light up the world. Shine bright, because your success is our priority.